Alright boys and girls, it's the day after the dyno. After I went home, doing some more pulls with the 308 horsepower, of course. And the next thing you know, my accessory belt pulley flew off. Not flew off, but my belt itself flew off from my power steering, and my actual pulley started rattling around. So the crank bolt had come undone, and after looking at the damage, basically what had happened was the key, the Woodruff key, like the crank key that goes in the end of the snout, basically broke somehow and sheared off. I'll put pictures in here. So I went down, did it right, went down to Tonda and got an OEM crank snout key or a Woodruff key, put the new one in, and basically that fixed the problem. And part of that is because I'm running an OBD2 distributor, which still uses the crank position sensor down at the end of the crank snout. So it basically has to have,
there's a timing gear, or sprocket as sometimes people call it, and it has little wings on it, and they spin past the sensor. And then you have your balancing shaft pulley, which drives the belt for your balancing shafts if you're running them. I'm not running them, but it has pickups on there that need to go past that sensor as well. So
what was happening was when that bolt was loosening on the crank snout, that balancing shaft pulley was moving away from the magnetic pickups, or the sensor rather, and causing this rev limiter problem. So good news is that solved that problem. Bad news is I didn't get to make the power that I wanted to, and I'm going to chalk that up to the rev limiter problems. I was also having a problem with my blow-off valve. I was leaking at random times, so took that all apart, cleaned it up, stretched the spring, and did a boost leak test and fixed that all up. So I'm hoping to make an appearance again at the dyno at some point, but you know, it's money and time, and the time that you have to wait is usually about a month. So I still have a month to go here, and I'd really like to send them some data logs to make sure that everything looks good now before I go and spend the money again, because it's expensive. But guys, that's the update. 308 horsepower, and I gotta tell you, driving 308 horsepower is awesome. I can only imagine what 450 or 500 or 550 is gonna feel like, because 308 is kind of nuts. You pretty much can burn rubber all day. If I'm real hard into third and fourth, I can spin the wheels and dance around, which is kind of scary, but I can do it. But it's definitely plenty, but you know, I have a goal set here, and I built this thing to go to a certain limit, and I want to make that happen. So stay tuned, and it's coming back at you. Alright guys, today we're at the pump. It's a really rainy day, but brought about 5 gallons to my garage to put into the Prelude. I drove it down here, and now we're filling up on the good stuff.